Hello, friends. Today is October 29th. It is Thursday, and we are working on Lesson 7 of Unit 1, Module 2, Animal Defense Mechanisms. Here are today's learning targets. I can analyze a summary and explain how it is effective. Summary is something new. We talked about poem summaries. There's some feeling summaries in Module 1 with Jack and how he felt about things going on and why. But we're going to be summarizing nonfiction now, so it's going to be a little different. And when we think of the word effective, that means it's done well and easy to understand. We're analyzing it, we're breaking it apart. And then the next learning target, I can find the gist of a text. We know the gist. And use strategies to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words. All right, so we're going to look at Venom pages 36 and 37. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix it right now because I don't want it to be on there wrong. And we're going to read pages 36 and 37 of Venom. And then afterward, I want you to think about what you saw in the images, what new information that those images provide, what the main idea of the pages were, and what the supporting details were. Okay, so Venom, page 36. How do I kill thee? Let me count the ways. That's a python, y'all. Not all snakes use venom to kill their victims. Some use constriction. They seize the prey with their small backward-pointing teeth, then quickly wrap themselves around the victim and tighten the muscle to suffocate it. The most famous of these constrictors are the pythons and boas. Like the constrictors, venomous snakes have regular teeth to seize prey and to prevent it from slipping out of their mouths, but they also have a pair of hollow fangs in the upper jaws to inject toxins. If a snake loses a fang, another one usually replaces it, sometimes as often as once a week. Baby venomous snakes are born with fangs and the ability to inject venom. They will shed teeth and fangs many times during their lives. Some snakes bite and hold their prey, chewing it to inject venom deep in the wound. Others strike and quickly withdraw. As for a snake's forked tongue, it cannot sting. It's used to taste, smell the air, and to find food. Snake venom has to work quickly and efficiently, to subdue prey. That's why it is so potent. That means strong. A struggling victim is dangerous, not only when it is caught, but also when it is swallowed. It could easily break the snake's ribs or skull. So the snake waits until the prey is paralyzed, tracks it by smell, and then swallows it. A snake's jaws are connected by stretchy skin and ligaments, so it can open its mouth very wide. The two sides of the jaws work independently, walking the prey to the rear of the snake's mouth and down its throat. That's a boa constrictor. Look at how it's coiled up. All right, here's our next page. There's another snake. Sorry, friends. The fer-de-lance. A snake's venom is actually modified saliva. It is produced in special glands below the snake's eyes and flows into its tissues surrounding the base of its fangs, then into the fang's venom canals. It's mostly made up of proteins in the form of enzymes that will help break down the prey quickly. In one study, a venomous snake called fer-de-lance, back up there, found in Central and South American rainforests, I'm right here, clearings and fields, had its venom removed. Instead of the 2 or 3 days the snake usually needed to digest a rat, it took the snake 12 days. Studies of Bothrop's venom have also resulted in the discovery of beta blockers, which are medicines used to treat cardiovascular diseases. In fact, snake venom components are used in many areas of medicine. From cobra venom, scientists have developed several painkillers. Other venoms have produced anticoagulants that prevent blood clots. Venoms are currently being investigated for their potential to kill harmful viruses and bacteria and to treat other cardiovascular, nerve, muscular, and joint diseases as well as visual disorders. Check that picture out. That's a copperhead, and it's using its fangs and jaws to walk a prey into its throat. That is pretty disgusting. Okay, so now that we've read that, think about those pictures, right? What did we see? We saw lots of different snakes. The python, the boa constrictor, the copperhead, and the fer-de-lance. Okay. And the next question was, what new information did those images provide? Well, I was able to see in this one how this copperhead's fangs actually worked the mouse into its throat. I could also see how the snake is coiled up, it's wrapped around something, and that's how it uses constriction. That's how it wraps around its victim and suffocates it. So there's a couple examples of that as well. What was the main idea of the pages that we just read? Okay, think about the main idea. The main idea is what it's about, and it's about what it was about, and the details that support it would be the supporting details. So what was it about? Well, I know that those pages were all about the different ways that snakes kill their prey, right? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm struggling here. They kill their prey through coiling around them and suffocating them to death, and they also kill them by injecting their venom into them. Okay, and then what supporting details do we know? Well, this says, it gives examples. So venomous snakes have teeth to seize prey, and then it says they bite and hold their prey. Let's see, where does it talk about venom and constricting? It says venom has to work efficiently to subdue the prey. And then it says that on this page, it talks about how the snakes suffocate their prey, and it talks about what constriction is and how the venom works. So those are kind of my supporting details. Okay, so now that we've done that, you are going to look at this summary. Okay, this is on page 27 of your module workbook. And it says on pages 36 and 37 of Venom, so we identified our text in the pages we read, Marilyn Singer. So now we're being specific because it's got those page numbers and it has the author of the text. And then it tells us the main idea and supporting details. Explains that snakes have different ways to kill their victims. Some snakes suffocate the victim by wrapping themselves around it and tightening their muscles. This is called constriction. Others are venomous, and they either bite and chew to inject venom or strike and withdraw quickly. So looking at the summary, you need to notice the different parts. It's got the page numbers, it's got the title and the author. And then it gives a quick sentence that finishes the main idea. So explains the main idea. It explains that snakes have different ways to kill their victims. Okay, so that's the main idea. Then the next few sentences give supporting details that prove the main idea. Some snakes suffocate the victim by wrapping around it and tightening their muscles. This is called constriction. Others are venomous and either bite and chew to inject venom or strike and withdraw quickly. Okay, so we've got page numbers, title of the text. If you're writing this, you underline it because it's the title of a book, and the author, the main idea, and the supporting details. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is flip in our module workbook to page 28. Okay, and on page 28, we're going to read this once today. We're going to read it together once, and then you're going to read it independently. And we're going to talk about what we've got here, okay? So if you could open to page 28, and let's read, Fight to Survive. Imagine that you were walking along a path in the woods. Suddenly, you were face to face with a bear. Would you like to be able to leap high into the air to escape? What if you could curl up in an impenetrable armor ball? Perhaps you would prefer to run as fast as a car. Animals have the ability to do some of these amazing things. Over many generations, they have developed both physical and behavioral defense mechanisms that allow them to survive. Physical defense mechanisms. A tough exterior. Did you know that knights from long ago used armor to protect themselves from enemies during battle? Today, some animals still protect themselves with external structures similar to a knight's armor. The millipede, a worm-like arthropod with many legs, uses its hard exoskeleton to protect itself. When faced with danger, the millipede crawls into a tight coil. This keeps it safe from predators such as birds, toads, and badgers. Three-banded armadillo's name means little armored one. It also relies on a tough external shell for protection. An armadillo can run amazingly fast when threatened by a predator. However, it is more likely to curl up into a tough ball that predators can't penetrate. Hide and seek. The ostrich has a very odd defense mechanism. When faced with danger, the ostrich flops down and stretches its neck flat along the ground. Since the head and neck are lightly colored, they blend into the sandy soil. From a distance, only the ostrich's body can be seen. For that reason, people have sometimes thought the ostrich was actually hiding its head in the sand. This is a myth. The ostrich's head is always exposed on top of the ground. It is just well camouflaged. Many animal babies also use camouflage. Springbok fawns stay hidden in the brush before they join the herd with their mother. Their tawny coats blend into the ground, making it difficult for predators to see them. Warning, stay away. In addition to external structures, many animals also have internal structures that help them survive. The yellow-spotted millipede produces a toxic fluid, hydrogen cyanide, when threatened. Hydrogen cyanide is not only poisonous, it also has a foul smell. Like other animals that taste bad or smell bad, the yellow spots on the outside of the millipede's body send a clear warning about the poison inside its body. The distinctive colors send a warning. Eat me and you'll be sorry. Similarly, the bright yellow, white, and black bands of the monarch caterpillar warn predators not to eat this little creature. When it emerges, the monarch caterpillar only eats milkweed leaf. Milkweed has a toxic chemical in it. Monarch caterpillars eat the poisonous milkweed leaves and incorporate the milkweed toxins into their body. This makes the caterpillar's body taste bitter. Even when the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, the toxins stay inside its body. Animals that ingest a monarch get very sick. Predators, especially birds, will not make that mistake more than once. Both the warning coloration of their bodies and their toxicity help monarchs to survive. Behavioral defense mechanisms. Peekaboo. Animals may also have special behaviors that help them survive. If the three-banded armadillo's coat of armor isn't enough to discourage a hungry predator, it also has another line of defense. Instead of closing completely into a tight ball, the armadillo leaves a small gap between its shells. When a persistent predator inserts a paw or snout, the armadillo quickly snaps its shells shut. Ouch. The attacker is startled or injured and hopefully goes looking for a meal elsewhere. Ready, set, go. If you can't fight, run. Fleeing from predators is a very effective defense behavior. For example, an adult springbok can run almost as fast as a car on a highway. Springbok are among the top 10 speediest animals in the world. That's important since one of their primary predators, the cheetah, is too. Springboks really need to run fast in order to survive and avoid becoming a cheetah's dinner. Ostriches also use speed to escape from predators. They are strong runners with long, powerful legs. They can cover great distances without much effort. In fact, ostriches have the longest legs of any bird. They're the fastest birds in the world, and if you've watched Jumanji 2, you know that. Even though ostriches have wings, they can't fly to escape from predators. Instead, they use their wings like rudders on boats to help steer their bodies as they move swiftly across the land. Safety in numbers. The springbok's tendency to live in large groups or herds is another defense behavior. Being part of a herd has benefits. In a herd, many eyes, ears, and noses are alert for danger. A cheetah slinking through the tall grass could easily be missed by some members of the herd. However, one alert springbok is all that is needed to set the whole herd in motion. There is safety in numbers. Many animals moving at once can confuse a predator and make it difficult to choose only one springbok to chase. The odds of being eaten are much lower when when an animal is in a group of 100. Ostriches live in groups for similar reasons. Their long necks and keen vision allow them to see for great distances. The ostrich can warn others when a predator approaches. The ostrich flocks also work together to raise their young. The dominant male and female then take a primary responsibility for hatching a flock's eggs in a community nest. This is another advantage of living in a group. There's a lot of help for raising babies. Amazing defenses. Predators are constantly looking for food, and prey like millipedes, armadillos, ostriches, butterflies, and springboks want to avoid being eaten. Defense mechanisms increase their chances of survival. Some animals have special internal and external physical structures that help them survive, like the armadillo's tough shell or the poison-producing glands of the yellow-spotted millipede. Many also use behaviors like fleeing or living in herds to protect themselves. These body structures and defense behaviors have evolved over a long period of time to give animals their best chance at survival. Just imagine the defense mechanisms these animals might develop in another 1,000 years. And if you look at page 31, you will see a graphic there. It is about different animals and animal defenses. Okay, and there's an error on this. Let's look first at the poison protective coloration. So the monarch butterfly and the millipede are both poisonous. Living in groups, the ostrich and springbok live in groups. As far as speed, the springbok and ostrich are crazy fast. Ostrich and springbok both camouflage into their environments around them. And then armor. The millipede and the springbok have armor. I'm sorry, the millipede and the armadillo have armor. It should not say ostrich and springbok. So cross that out in your module workbook and fix that. Armadillo is on the right under armor. I'm doing it in mine now. And then millipede is on the left under armor. Okay. All right. So after reading that today, what was that text mostly about? Think about that. Okay. So the text was mostly about the defense mechanisms that animals have, both physical defense mechanisms and behavioral defense mechanisms. So what things help them stay safe, okay? And then if you look again at the very first paragraph, I want you to just look at how this is written and see what this does so that we know what we're going to be reading about. Imagine that you're walking along a path in the woods. Suddenly you're face to face with a bear. Would you like to be able to leap high into the air to escape? What if you could curl up in an impenetrable armored ball? Perhaps you would prefer to run as fast as a car. Animals have the ability to do some of these amazing things. Over many generations, they have developed both physical and behavioral defense mechanisms that allow them to survive. So it gave us some examples without telling us exactly what we're going to read about. In addition, it lists that we are going to be reading about physical and behavioral defense mechanisms that have allowed animals to adapt and to stay on the earth over time. Okay. And then looking at some of our words. Okay, so when I think about a word, I know that a word is a basic, it's the main part of the root is the main part of the word is the root word. Okay. We might also call this the base word as well. Okay, so the word penetrate is a word. We could use it by itself. Okay. The bird will penetrate through the ground to get the worm, right? So the bird's beak would go into the ground to get the worm, okay? And then I can add prefixes and suffixes to a word. Prefixes come before a word, and suffixes come after a word. Sometimes I need to add both a prefix and a suffix to a word. Sometimes I can add one or the other. I could add just the suffix here, penetratable, okay? Or I could add the prefix and the suffix, so impenetratable. That means that you can't get through it. So we need to understand what the meanings of some prefixes are, well, of as many prefixes as we can, as well as suffix. So that word that started as penetrate might become impenetratable or penetratable. All right, and that is it for today, friends. So way to go, and we will see you tomorrow, Friday, for EL.